Products from Canada, Mexico, and China made up nearly half of Colorado's $17 billion in total imports last year. And if President Trump follows through with his partially paused tariffs against those same countries, the state would be looking at a $1.4 billion tax hike per year. That is according to analysis by economic research firm Trade Partnership Worldwide. And no, that estimate does not include the fallout from potential retaliatory tariffs. And yes, the extra costs would most likely be passed on to consumers. Joining us now, Democratic Governor of Colorado, Jared Polis. Donald Trump says this is a short-term pain thing and that it's going to stabilize. His goal is to get manufacturing back here into the United States. How do you see this?
Well, look, this is a very dangerous fire he's playing with here. As you talked about, over $1 billion taken out of the hands of Colorado taxpayers, going to the federal government, the reciprocal tariffs destroying our exports. By the way, Canada and Mexico are Colorado's biggest trading partners. They're number 1, 2, and 3 for almost every state in the country. For us, it's number 1 and 2. $500 million a year of beef exports go to Canada, $500 million to Mexico. We have tourists from Mexico and Canada spending money in restaurants and hotels in our state. This is a huge risk for the economy across the entire country. I mean, you know, on every front, one of our big issues in Colorado is the cost of housing. Guess what? This will increase construction costs by 5 to 10%, $10,000 on a home, greater costs ongoing as long as these tariffs remain in place.
You're an entrepreneur. How do businesses shield themselves? Can they shield themselves? And if they can't, what do they do?
You know what? And that's as bad as even worse. So in addition to the costs, there's the effect of deterring and preventing investment and growth, right? While there is all this uncertainty, whether they're on pause, whether they're in, as long as people don't know, and it's at the whim of a very erratic president, it deters and freezes investment. Nobody's going to be building new manufacturing here if they don't know if they can export to Mexico and Canada. They're going to build those countries overseas. If they're entering beef purchase contracts, they're going to buy some of our competitors, Argentinian beef, for example, instead of Colorado beef, not knowing if that supply is stable for months to come. So I urge the president to achieve stability here. Again, I hope that it's lower tariffs. I hope that these temporary delays go away and we just put something permanent like the free trade agreement we already have in place. And we move on, because Mexico and Canada are important geopolitical partners and economic partners. And you don't treat your partners in business the way that we've been treating these two great countries.
I wonder if you see I wonder if you believe there needs to be a balance here, because I think one of the reasons that Donald Trump was elected was this residual, this pent-up anger from the blue-collar workers, the base of people that feel like they were left behind after NAFTA in the 90s. And it's been 30 years on build for them, this anger, and Donald Trump was able to tap into it. That's one of the reasons. They do feel like manufacturing overseas is a problem for them. They don't feel it's fair. Is there a way to get our economy back to a place where more things are made here without inflicting this pain, the pain of tariffs, without trying to upend the global trade system that is now going on 40 years old?
Absolutely. It's to expand markets overseas for grown in America, made in America products. Look, President Biden didn't have a strong trade agenda. President Obama did. That's one of the reasons President Obama was so successful, expanding markets in Asia, Colombia, Europe. We need to move forward with making sure that America is the very best place to manufacture products, to grow produce for a worldwide market, and American workers benefit when we can be competitive and do that. And that's why we need to lean into, and it's a great time for Democrats to lean into, the contrast here. Let's not threaten Europe. Let's expand our relationship with Europe to decrease tariffs. Let's not threaten Canada and Mexico. Let's bring down tariffs on both sides and expand the opportunity for made in America products to be sold in other countries.
Let me ask you about veterans, because a lot of veterans in the state of Colorado, and the cuts are going to, the cuts to the VA, the cuts to veterans, is obviously affecting your state. I want to play a little bit of a story that was aired by a local station, WUSA, over there in Denver.
My job, my goals, my duty, since I've been out of the military, has been to help people like me.
Monday, Brett and at least 4 of his colleagues received this email telling them they were being let go, effective immediately.
I think what bothers me the most is whether you're a Republican or whether you're a Democrat, we're still human beings. It's our duty. And for that to be stripped away from us, like, it's unfortunate. It's not just about me. It's about everybody that wakes up every morning and decides, and decides to come up here and work. So, not just about veterans. I just happen to be one.
You're west of the Mississippi, so it's KUSA, not WUSA, excuse me. But you can feel that that veteran's emotion there, feeling like, he served his country, he was doing a good job, and it doesn't matter that he was put out on the street. There are a lot of Democratic governors who say if you've been laid off from the federal government, we want to hire you in the state government. What are you doing? Kathy Hochul is one of them here in New York. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, for the men and women who've proudly worn our nation's uniform and served, part of that fundamental deal is we've got your back. We're going to take care of you. We need to make sure we're not, decreasing service times, increasing waiting lists. We've got to meet the needs of our veterans today and tomorrow. In Colorado, we created a portal, a website. We have over 500 state positions that are open. We encourage veterans to apply. We facilitated contacting both civilian as well as folks that have been laid off with our unemployment insurance. This is a big deal, across the country, and we need to make sure that we can help make sure that the talented, dedicated people who continue to serve our nation after they're retired out of the military or finish their military service are able to continue to give back and make our country even greater.
Governor Jared Polis, really good to have you. Thank you for joining us today.